Welcome to my tutorial of how to make your own Midori inserts. I'm using mine for the List Has Got a List challenge. I made this one yesterday, and that is with the Reset Girl. She runs the List Has Got a List challenge, so you can follow her on Instagram and YouTube. I'll give you a flick through of this one, and then I'll go on to show you how to make your own. So I've decided to do mine in pastel colours. You'll need 9 sheets of paper altogether. You'll have one as your front cover. The length needs to be 21 centimetres and the width needs to be 22 centimetres. That will be folded to make an 11 centimetre width. So I'm going to use my paper trimmer to cut them down to size. So the length is already done for me, with it being A4 paper that I'm using. And then I'm just cutting the edge off to make the width 22 centimetres. For your front cover, you need to add an extra centimetre onto either side, and this will just make sure that the insert doesn't come out of the cover on the edges, it won't overspill. So that's the front cover I'm doing now in the pink. And then I'll show you it comes out the side, see? Fold that over as well. When you're folding your pieces, you need to give them a good squash down so they don't spring open. I've done my book with a mixture of cardstock and paper. I just love the colours that I've used here. I think they go together really nicely. So that you can see what it's going to look like once it's all assembled. Then you need to take your front cover, measure the centre point and prick a hole in it. I'm just using this tool here, but you could just use a darning needle or something like that. Make sure you've got a soft layer underneath so that you can poke through into that layer. And then from the centre point I'm measuring 3.5 centimetres either side and pricking another hole, and then doing the same again from the hole that I've just made. So this is going to be used as your guide, so you can just prick straight through those holes into the other layers, and you'll need to separate out your paper so that you're not going through too many layers at a time, otherwise everything will go off centre. So now I have inserted my cotton that I'm using. I used embroidery thread. Now the first line that you'll do is quite difficult because you've got to keep lining up all of the holes in the book. So what I'm doing is just an in-out stitch. So in one hole, out the other, in one hole, out the next, in one hole, out the next, and then you go back over so that you're going through in the opposite direction, and this will make sure that it is nice and secure. When I started threading, I use masking tape to tape down the thread just to make sure it doesn't keep coming through, because that can be really frustrating. So as you can see, I'm just having to go through one by one. But once you've got one layer done, it should be easier because everything should be aligned now. I say should be. So here we go, back in the opposite direction. Pushing really hard to get through that hole because sometimes it can get a little bit stiff with there being a piece of cotton there as well as all of the layers of paper. So that is 2 rows, and then you're going to go back through and do another 2, because you don't want this book coming apart. Sorry, I keep going out of shot here because I was trying to have a closer look at what I was doing. And then you're going to tie those two ends together in a nice secure knot before trimming off the excess cotton. And there we go. So that's your nice neat Midori insert. You can use this for the Midori Traveller's Notebook, or there's loads of other options that you can go for that you can use the inserts in. If you just have a look on Google if you've never heard of them before. But they're a really nice size for lists. And there we have it.